Marcus stood in the doorway of his son's bedroom, hands trembling as he held the DNA test results. The paper felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Behind him, 7-year-old Elijah sat on the living room floor, building a Lego spaceship, humming the song Marcus taught him last week. "Dad, come look," Elijah called out. That word hit different now. Dad. Marcus couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. The numbers on the page were clear, 0% probability of paternity. After 7 years of bedtime stories, scraped knees, and soccer practice, Elijah wasn't his. His phone buzzed. A text from his wife, Shanice. "Working late again. Love you." Marcus stared at those words until they blurred. 6 months earlier. Marcus Washington was a simple man with a simple life. He worked as a diesel mechanic at a shop on the south side of Detroit. Good pay, honest work. Every morning, he woke up at 5:30 a.m., kissed Shanice on the forehead, and checked on Elijah before heading out. Shanice worked as a medical assistant at a clinic downtown. They'd been married 9 years, together for 11. Elijah came 2 years into their relationship. Marcus remembered the day Shanice told him she was pregnant. They were sitting in his old Chevy outside a Coney Island restaurant. She cried. He cried. "I'm scared," she whispered. "We got this," Marcus said. "I got you." And he meant it. When Elijah was born, Marcus was the first to hold him. Those tiny fingers wrapped around his thumb, and something inside Marcus changed forever. He became a father that day. Not because of blood. Because of choice. 3 months earlier. Marcus noticed Shanice had been distant. She stayed late at work more often. Came home exhausted. Barely looked at him during dinner. One night, Marcus tried to talk to her. "You okay, baby?" "Just tired," she said, scrolling through her phone. "We haven't talked in weeks." "Really talked?" Shanice sighed. "I'm fine, Marcus. I'm just, work is a lot right now." She kissed him on the cheek and went to bed early. Marcus sat alone in the dark, feeling something he couldn't name. 2 months earlier. Marcus found the receipt by accident. He was folding laundry and it fell out of Shanice's jacket pocket. A hotel. Downtown Detroit. 2 nights. The same weekend she said she went to a medical conference in Lansing. His chest tightened. He didn't want to believe it. So he didn't ask. He just watched. 1 month earlier. Elijah got sick, a bad flu that kept him home from school for a week. Marcus took time off to stay with him. One afternoon, while Elijah napped, Marcus sat on the couch, staring at his son's baby pictures. Something nagged at him. Elijah had Shanice's smile. Her nose. But his eyes? His skin tone? Marcus shook his head. "Stop it," he told himself. "He's yours. You raised him." But the doubt had planted itself. 3 weeks earlier. Marcus ordered the DNA test online. It came in a plain brown box. He hid it in his truck for 2 days before he had the courage to open it. The swab was easy. Quick. Elijah didn't even notice. "What's that, Dad?" "Just checking something, buddy." "Open wide." Elijah giggled and stuck out his tongue. Marcus sent the kit that same afternoon. Now. Marcus folded the results and slipped them into his jacket pocket. He walked into the living room and sat down next to Elijah. "That's a cool spaceship." "Thanks. Wanna help?" Marcus picked up a Lego piece, his hands still shaking. Elijah looked up at him. "You okay, Dad?" Marcus forced a smile. "Yeah, buddy. I'm okay." But he wasn't. The front door opened. Shanice walked in, smiling, holding takeout bags. "Hey, baby. I brought Chinese." Marcus looked at her. And for the first time in 9 years, he didn't recognize the woman he married. "We need to talk," Marcus said quietly. Shanice's smile faded. Elijah looked between them, confused. "Dad?" Marcus stood up. And then his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. "Mr. Washington? This is Detective Morris from Detroit PD. We need you to come down to the station. It's about your wife." Marcus sat across from Detective Morris in a small gray room at the precinct. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Mr. Washington, how long have you been married? 9 years. Why am I here? The detective slid a folder across the table. Inside were photos, Shanice with another man. At restaurants. A hotel. In a car. Do you know this man? Marcus stared at the pictures. His throat went dry. No. His name is Darnell Price. He's married. 2 kids. Lives in Southfield. Marcus felt sick. We've been investigating him for months. Fraud, embezzlement. Your wife's name came up on his phone records, hundreds of calls and texts over the past year. Marcus couldn't speak. We're not here to ruin your marriage, Mr. Washington. But we need to know, has your wife had access to your financial accounts? Marcus drove home in silence. His mind was spinning. The affair. The DNA test. Now this. When he walked through the door, Shanice was in the kitchen, washing dishes. Elijah was asleep. What did the police want, she asked, not looking at him. Marcus set the DNA results on the counter. Shanice froze. How long? Marcus asked. Her hands stopped moving. Marcus. How long have you been lying to me? Shanice turned around, tears already forming. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. She sat down at the table, her head in her hands. Darnell was, before you. Before we got serious. Elijah. She nodded, sobbing now. I didn't know for sure. I swear, Marcus, I didn't know. When I found out I was pregnant, we were already together. I thought, I hoped. You lied to me for 7 years. I didn't lie. I didn't know. Marcus felt his whole body go numb. And the affair? Shanice looked up, shocked. What? The hotel. The calls. The late nights. Marcus, I'm not. The police showed me pictures, Shanice. She stood up, frantic. That was one time. Last month. Darnell called me out of nowhere. He said he knew about Elijah. He said he wanted to meet him. I panicked, Marcus. I met him to tell him to stay away. That's all it was. You stayed at a hotel. He wouldn't leave me alone. He followed me. I got scared and checked into a hotel so he couldn't find me. I swear to God, Marcus, I didn't cheat on you. Not like that. Marcus wanted to believe her. But trust was a broken thing now. 1 week later. Marcus moved into his brother's place in Dearborn. He still saw Elijah every day, picked him up from school, helped with homework. Elijah didn't understand why Daddy wasn't coming home. Did I do something wrong? Elijah asked one afternoon in the car. Marcus pulled over. No, buddy. You didn't do anything wrong. Dad and Mom just were figuring some stuff out. Are you still my dad? Marcus looked at his son, this boy he'd raised, loved, protected. Biology didn't make a father. Love did. Yeah, Marcus said, his voice breaking. I'm still your dad. 3 weeks later. Shanice filed for divorce. Marcus didn't fight it. They agreed on joint custody. One evening, Marcus sat with Elijah at a park near the Detroit River. They didn't talk much. Just sat there, watching the water. Dad? Yeah? Are you sad? Marcus thought about it. Yeah, buddy. I'm sad. Me too. Marcus put his arm around Elijah. But you know what? We're gonna be okay. Promise? Promise. 2 months later. Marcus started therapy. It helped. Slowly, he learned to separate his anger at Shanice from his love for Elijah. One was real. One was still there. He didn't forgive Shanice. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But he forgave himself for feeling lost. Present day. Marcus picked Elijah up for the weekend. Shanice stood in the doorway, looking tired. Thank you, she said quietly. For still showing up. Marcus nodded. He didn't have words for her yet. As they drove away, Elijah turned to him. Dad, can we get pizza? Yeah, Marcus said, smiling for the first time in weeks. We can get pizza. And for now, that was enough.